This module is an extension of the previous one. It also deals with OLI, code execution, and PE files. We'll be practicing and improving our OLI skills for further modules, and marking another V on our to-do list, antivirus avoidance. Most antivirus software use hard-coded signature scanning as their primary scanning technology. This means that they attempt to identify malware by comparing a suspect file with a local database, which contains short signatures of known files. If our suspect file matches one of these signatures, then it's flagged as a malicious file. Remember that antivirus software usually scan file on disk and not in memory. A 1-byte change in the right place of a binary file can often make the file undetected by antivirus software. However, what impact would that 1-byte change have on the functionality of the file? Would it still run and execute correctly? Probably not. We need to find a way to change the file structure without changing its functionality in order to bypass our average antivirus. One way of achieving this is by encoding the file on disk and have it decode back to its original contents when executed in memory. We'll be hijacking the execution flow of our original detected malware and redirect it into a small code cave, in a very similar manner we did in our last exercise. Rather than placing shellcode in our code cave, as we did earlier, we will be planting a small stub decoder. More about this later. Once our stub is in place, we will then encode part of the executable file and save it to disk. Once our newly saved file is executed, it's loaded into memory, and in memory, the execution flow will be hijacked back to our stub. Our stub will then decode our previously encoded contents and then resume normal operations of the file. Once again, this sounds much more complex than it is in practice. Let's take a look at the following diagram. The left diagram represents the detected malicious file as it is on disk. We assume that somewhere in this file there's a signature which the antivirus software detects and therefore marks this file as malicious. What we will attempt to do is to hijack the entry point of the file and, once again as we did in the previous demo, introduce some external code to it. Our code will be a XOR stub. This stub will encode the binary contents of the file from a beginning point to an end point, which we will calculate later. And once this section of the file is encoded, we will save this file to disk. Once we run this file again, our entry point will lead us to our XOR stub, which will decode the contents of this section in memory and then resume normal operations of our malware. By using this method, we'll hopefully be able to fool the antivirus software into believing that our file is non-malicious. Let's begin by connecting to our VistaLab machine and running an antivirus scan on our malicious file. The file we're using is a netcat clone which automatically opens port 99 and binds it to cmd.exe. Let's run this file and see how it behaves. So a double click will open a shell, and if we run a netstat, we should see that port 99 is listening. This is our indication that the file is working. Any attacker trying to connect to port 99 with netcat will receive a shell. So let's close this and continue with our scan. We scan the file with the antivirus, and as expected, we can see that the antivirus identifies this file as malicious and notifies us of this.